Hello friends, this is Satvinder Bhatia from Sukhmaniimmigration Services, Brampton, Canada. I am a regulated and licensed Canadian immigration consultant. Today, very happy to share with you because there is a new program which has come up, new PR program. What is the program? What are the details? I'll share everything with you. So before that, I request you, if you have not subscribed to the channel yet, please consider subscribing. We talk a lot about Canadian immigration news and updates, tips and tricks. So please consider subscribing. If you like the video, share it with your family and friends so that they can also benefit. Now, without further delay, let's talk about the new PR program which has come up. What is the program? That program is Atlantic Immigration Program. Yes, Atlantic Immigration Program. It sounds familiar? Yes, it sounds familiar. It is, you probably may be thinking of Atlantic Immigration Pilot. Yes, Atlantic Immigration Pilot now got replaced with Atlantic Immigration Program. What is the program? I will share everything with you. So, before that, a question which many people ask, where is Atlantic Canada? So, because it's like sometimes it's not very familiar of the location. So let us first see where Atlantic Canada is. So Atlantic Canada, as you can see on the map of Canada, is on the east side, and the shaded area, you can see this is Atlantic Canada. If we zoom it up, so it comes like this. So Atlantic Canada is basically 4 provinces: Newfoundland, Labrador, Prince Edward Island, Nova Scotia and New Brunswick. These are the 4 provinces which make Atlantic Canada. Now, before I talk about what is got changed, let us talk about Atlantic Immigration Pilot. So Atlantic Immigration Pilot started from 2017. So 2017, and it finished, and here is the government website. It finished on March 5th. From March 6th, 2022, Atlantic Immigration Pilot replaced New Atlantic Program, which is Atlantic Immigration Program, and it started from March 6th. Now, before I talk about the Atlantic Immigration Program in detail, let me share with you some quick facts and very important information. First, I would like to share a tweet from Honorable Minister, Immigration Minister Sean Fraser. So, what is he saying in this tweet? Calling businesses across Atlantic Canada. So the program is officially open, and it is open for skilled workers and international graduates. So this is the program, and Atlantic, the fact about Atlantic Immigration Pilot was it welcomed 12,700 newcomers. So since the start 2017, 9,800 job offers were made. And one important question which many of my friends will ask, which you will also be wondering, okay, new program, but how much is a quota? How much is government considering to give this particular program? So first, let us understand, this program got a big quota, 6,000. So 6,000 spaces are available yearly. Yearly 6,000 spaces are available for this program. Now let's look into the Atlantic Immigration Program. To understand this program has 2 components. What is the 2 components? The first component is employer. The second component is candidate. So employer, what employer does? Employer gives you job offer. So employer provides you with a job offer, and candidates accept the job offer. So here in this video, I'm talking only from the candidate perspective. That is from your perspective. So not from the employer perspective. Employer also has to meet certain requirements, certain guidelines, but I am only talking in this video from your perspective, what requirements you have to meet. So I'll talk about all these details. So first of all, the candidate, as we said, the candidate is basically 2 types of candidates are there. So what are those 2 types of candidates? The first is skilled worker, and the second one is international graduates. So these are the 2 types of candidates. Now, let us look into the Atlantic Immigration Program. So, Atlantic Immigration Program is basically a pathway to PR, Canadian PR, for skilled foreign worker, not just any ordinary foreign worker, skilled foreign worker, and for graduates from Atlantic Canada. So, those graduates who have done their post-secondary education from recognized, the word is recognized, which is underlined, recognized post-secondary institutions in Atlantic Canada. So for those who want to live and work in Atlantic provinces, so this is the pathway for them. And those provinces, let us see once again those 4 provinces: New Brunswick, Nova Scotia, Prince Edward Island, and Newfoundland and Labrador. These are the 4 provinces. This is for employer. So employer also has a key component, because these provinces has a lot of potential. Many businesses are there, and the only problem with the provinces is that not many people are there. So businesses need people to flourish, and that is why if the employer is not able to fulfill the jobs locally, so then they will go to the skilled foreign workers. So this is the entire concept of it. Now let us look at the requirements from your perspective, not from the employer perspective. I am repeatedly saying employer also has to meet certain requirements, but I am only talking from your perspective. What are the requirements which you have to meet? So requirements, let us easily see with the help of graphic. So first is education. As always, every program has certain basic education requirements, language requirements, then work experience requirements, then job offer needs to be qualified, qualifying job offer, and lastly the settlement funds. So looks like an Olympic sign, but they are not. But these are 5 requirements, candidate requirements only. Again, I'm talking candidate requirements, your requirements, not the employer requirements. So now let us look at each requirement, so better to understand everything in detail. Education side. So first of all, no degree is required. This program doesn't say that you need a degree. So all it says is that you need to have a post-secondary education, meaning that you need to have after grade 12, after +2, post-secondary, you need to have at least some amount of education for NOC O or A. So that is also dependent upon which NOC you are getting. So if you have a NOC O or A job offer, you must have Canadian equivalent of post-secondary 1 year post-secondary education. But if you have NOC B or C, so even if you are not having more than post-secondary education, you are still okay. You must meet Canadian high school diploma levels. And again, I have repeatedly said, if you have done your qualification from outside Canada, you need to get ECA. I have a complete video on ECA. If you have not seen, please do look at the video on ECA too. Now, as I said, you understood the education requirements. Now let us look at the language requirements. So language requirements, I don't believe it. Honestly, I don't believe this is so low. Low, I mean just CLB 4 or 5, this is so low. So language requirements are based on the NOC, what type of NOC of job offer you have. So the minimum language requirements for NOC category, suppose you have a job offer of O, A and B, you just need NOC 5. Compare it with federal skilled level, federal skilled worker, where you need at least 7 to qualify. So look at the difference. So easy, even a kid can do it. It's so easy. Level 4 for NOC C. So very low IELTS requirement, low CLB requirements. Now let us look into the work experience. So from work experience requirements, skilled worker, you need to have in the last 5 years at least 1 year of experience. So what it translates into hours is you at least have 30 hours per week, and if you multiply it yearly, you will get 1560 hours. To calculate your hour, it is important to understand that you should have worked part-time. You can calculate both part-time jobs and add full-time jobs also. but you cannot add the time you have done volunteering or unpaid internship at some place. You cannot count that. So you count the hours, you cannot count the hours which you have been self-employed. So suppose you are doing any kind of your own job, you are self-employed, you cannot count that, right? So you must be legally authorized to work as a temporary resident and count hours that accumulate over a period of 12 months. So count work experience acquired while studying as long as the work experience do not exceed the requirement authorized. So I have a video on study permit, and so for students only 20 hours per week are authorized. So you can count that 20 hours. It is, but it should not be more than that. So that is what this point is saying. So now let us look into the more requirements for the skilled worker from the work experience category. Just to elaborate, so NOC skill type O, which is restaurant manager. I'm trying to give examples also so you can understand. So NOC O is when you are managing people, right? So you are a restaurant manager, you are managing a set of people. So skill type A is when you need a professional university degree to practice particularly job, like a doctor, like an architect, like an engineer. NOC B is that you have a technical job which could be, you need a trade certificate, you may be a chef, you may be an electrician, plumber, right? So that is NOC B type job. NOC C is, it's long, like butchers or long haul truck drivers or food servers. You are working in a restaurant, you are serving food. So that also is in the NOC C type job. So this is kind of, try to elaborate on what kind of work experience and what are the NOC types. So I have a video on NOC to tier also. If you have not seen, you can go and check that details also. Now let us look into the work experience for international graduates. So since the graduates have done their graduation or they have done their studies from Atlantic provinces in Canada, they do not need to meet, repeating the word, do not need to meet the work experience requirements. But they have certain other requirements. What are those requirements? Let us look into it. So the requirement is that their degree, diploma, certificate, whatever they have taken, that should have at least been 2 years of study, and they should be recognized. It's not that the province is that the institution is located in the Atlantic province. That will not qualify. Recognized. It should be in the Atlantic province, plus it should be recognized. And then full-time student, he or she should be a full-time student and should have lived in the province for at least 16 months. This long distance relationship or distance learning, you are sitting in Ontario and doing a course from Atlantic province will not work. So you have to be physically present 16 months during the last 2 years and had a visa, of course, visa or study permit, which is a requirement to work and while you were in Canada. So that also is a requirement for international graduates. Now, job offer. So this is the fourth component. So we have seen education, we have seen language requirements, we have also seen work experience. Now let us look into the job offer. So from a job offer perspective, job offer should meet all the below requirements which I am telling you here, all, right? So that's why it's underlined. It should be a full-time job. It should be a non-seasonal. Non-seasonal means that, okay, when there is a farm season or when there is a Christmas season, they need workers. No, not like that. You need a non-seasonal job and it should be NOC O, A or B. If the job offer is in the NOC O, A or B, then it has to be valid for at least 1 year. And if it is in NOC C, then there should not be any end date to the job. The job offer, so one important thing I'm trying to convey here is the genuinity. The job offer has to be genuine. So it cannot happen like that, you are providing a job offer where your company, or your spouse is a owner. You cannot do that. Or you may be the majority stakeholder. No, that thing will not work. Genuinity is important. So job offer must be at the same skill level or higher. The work experience, you are qualified to do the job. Now, to understand the job offer, how is NOC tied with your work experience? Let us look into that. So NOC job offer. Suppose you are getting a NOC O job offer, then your experience should be at least that level. You are getting a NOC O job offer, then NOC O should translate to also you should have a work experience in NOC O or lower, A, B, C. So similarly, NOC A, you should have a NOC A experience or B, C. If you are in NOC B or lower, which is C. NOC C, then NOC C, because nothing is lower than that. So for now, they are not considering anything. So for healthcare sectors, there is exception because there is a very, very high demand for nurses. So there is an exception. They have put, suppose you are in the lower category also, then you can still go to the higher category, which means suppose you are nurse helper, nurse aide with a NOC code 3413. So if you get a job offer of a practical nurse 3233 or 3012, which is registered nurse, it will still work. So here there is an exception because of the very high demand for nurses in the Atlantic province. Now that we have seen the job offer, the last component, which is the fifth ring of this, which is settlement fund. Now they have done marvelous thing here. Settlement fund again is lower, much lower than if you go for the federal program or PNP programs, much lower. So low settlement fund requirement is there. Settlement fund is the money which you need to support your family and yourself when you come to Canada. So settlement fund depends upon the size of your family. So you are there, your spouse is there, your kid, one kid is there, so that makes 3. You have 2 kids, that makes 4, right? Suppose one of the person is not coming at the time of the PR. He may or she may be staying at the home country, but still you have to count it. Lastly, if you are working, you do not need to show any kind of settlement funds. So let us look into the settlement fund graph. So if suppose you are a family of 4, only $6,000 you need to show. So major difference as compared to other settlement funds in the other programs also. So one additional bonus you get here is that you get a temporary work permit. So you don't need to wait for ages for your PR to come, right? So you will get a temporary work permit, so you can start the job right away. So if you meet the requirement for the PR, you are eligible for temporary work permit. But this work permit is having certain conditions. What are the conditions? The work permit is only for Atlantic immigration program. You have to be in that Atlantic province, and it is valid for 1 year, and it only lets you work for the employer who is giving you the job offer. So these are the conditions. So plus you need to file your permanent residence application within the 90 days of submitting your temporary work permit application. So getting a temporary work permit does not mean that you will automatically get a PR. There are 2 important components, and this is again from the employer perspective, right? What is those 2 components? The first component is to qualify for a work permit, you must have a job offer from designated employer. So that is the employer component. You don't need to worry about it, but the employer need to be designated, and the referral letter from the province, endorsement letter, should be also there. So this is the work permit additional bonus which you get if you apply for this program, Atlantic immigration program. Now one question which lastly, now that you have understood the entire program, right? So you will definitely ask, what is the fee? So fee for this program is 1,325 Canadian dollars, and in addition you do have to pay the biometrics and medical, of course. Processing time, again another common question, how much is the time? Are we setting ages? No, the time which is shown for this is just 12 months. Plus, of course, you can come early, you get a work permit. So lot of benefits. If you still need to ask something or you have any questions, you can go and check, rewind the video, go and check. If you still don't understand, you can come back to us, write comments, send emails, or you can meet us at our office. Our office is located here in Brampton, and email and phone numbers are also provided here. One small request which I always say, if you have not subscribed to the channel, please kindly subscribe to the channel. and we are so thankful for watching the video. Thank you very much.